Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another rousing week of Anatomy and Physiology. What we're going to talk about today are some of the things that are due for this upcoming week, which is week 4. Hard to believe that we are already literally, this is like midterm time ish, right? It's an 8-week summer course, so we are like in the middle of the summer session already. Well, we will be at the end of this week. So I want to once again take this time to commend you all in doing such a fantastic job in keeping up with all of your deliverables, with keeping up with the SI sessions, which have been phenomenal, with doing everything that you all have needed to do to make sure that you stay on track. And if you've not been doing everything that you need to do to stay on track, then please go ahead and get on that bandwagon right now. I have graded as of 6/29/2020 at 5:05 p.m. I have graded all of the exams that have been submitted and all of the homework, so your grade is current. If you have submitted your exam 10 minutes before that or 10 minutes after that, after 5:05 p.m. Central Standard Time on June 29th, then I have not graded it yet. So don't freak out. I just haven't it hasn't popped up in my queue yet. But everything else before that time, all of that is graded, so all of your grades are updated. So far, so good. The exam grades look really good. The lab exam grades look really good, and it seems like you guys are really powering through this. So I have a sneaky little feeling that for many of you guys, A&P comes kind of naturally for you. So big ups for that. So what we're going to be doing this week, I'm going to go ahead and go into our weekly module folder and scroll on down here to week 4. We have two assessment deals that we're going to take. One is a quiz, and then that, remember, the quizzes are due on Friday, and then you also have lab exam 2. So lab exam 2 is going to be like lab exam 1. It's going to be on McGraw-Hill Connect, and we'll take some time to show you where all of that is. And it's based off of the homework assignments that you've done for the bones and the muscles of the upper and the lower skeleton. So the part 1 of the bones and the part 1 of the muscles, which we are doing this week. And I think some of you guys are actually gotten ahead of the game and have started that part 1 of the muscles already. So we are doing some nervous stuff right now. So we're in the nervous tissue chapter. We're starting that discussion. And really cool thing about nervous system is that it really piggybacks a lot on what we learned in the muscular system. They kind of work in tandem with one another, so that makes it a little bit easier to understand or to see how these two different organ systems work together, because there's a lot of physiology in muscles, just like there's a lot of physiology in nerves, but that physiology kind of marries each other. So that's a good thing, that we're starting in the nervous system. I also have the lab manual here for the muscles of the exoskeleton. Your third lab practical will be the bones and muscles of like the spinal column, the rib cage, and all of that good stuff. So, right after you take this exam 2, which is over the appendicular skeleton or the bones and muscles of the arms and the legs, then you're going to want to start to jump in on this. But I don't have to tell you guys that because you've already been doing it. So you want to watch these notes. It's a 4-part series of the notes here, and I think we're doing all 4 parts this week. So boom, that happens. It's all in this one folder. So you have all 4 parts of the nervous system that you should listen to this week for those lecture notes. You also will have a critical thinking and application. This is our second discussion board, if you will. Remember, you have 2 weeks to get all of this done. And the discussion boards or critical thinking applications, I just kind of grade them as they come in. So, but you have a couple of weeks to get them done. And if you guys haven't noticed, or you will notice that I'm really kind of laid back on my late policy for homework, because I know stuff happens. So as long as you get it to me before I have to submit final grades for the summer session, then I'm totally cool. You also have your mind maps. Your mind maps this week, you're going to be completing 3 mind maps, one for the activities of the neurotransmitters, and then we also have a mind map for the mechanisms of neurotransmitters, how they actually work. And then we have postsynaptic potential. So you have 3 mind maps that you're going to be constructing there. For the lab portion of the course, along with looking at that lab manual for the axle skeleton that I pointed in that very first folder that had the nervous system, you're also going to be doing the muscular system part one. So these are just muscles of the arms and legs. Once you've completed that and you've studied that, which I'm sure you all have been doing, then you have due this Sunday your lab practical two, which will consist of the bones and the muscles of the arms and the legs. So, and where all that information comes from, it's on McGraw Hill Connect. All of that stuff is coming from your homework assignments that you've completed and submitted in McGraw Hill Connect. So, this is kind of like a preview of what this lab exam is going to look like. So, it's right here in McGraw Hill Connect. And then we also have due this week, we have a quiz. And your quiz will be found here under course content, quizzes and exams. You'll click on that link there and then you'll slide right on down to where it says quizzes here. And boom, you find your second quiz. 15 questions. And it's going to be mainly over muscles, and there's a little bit of bones, and there's a little bit of the joints. So we talk a little bit about the joints. And I apologize for my 4-year old running around screaming right now. She's into Hulk smash for whatever reason. She's running around screaming Hulk smash and jumping off of furniture. So pray for us. Anyway, your quiz is going to cover uh, the bones, a little bit of bones. Mostly like one question I know for sure on there is going to be like what type of sutures are on the skull or something about the skull sutures. So you have a question on just a little bit of bones. Primarily what it's going to be is muscle contraction. So we're going to talk pretty much everything we've talked about for muscles, because what this quiz wants to do is kind of start to prepare you to think about your next exam, your next lecture exam. And your next lecture exam is actually going to happen next Sunday. So when you take summer school, everything comes like boom, boom, boom. But I don't have to tell you guys that. Once again, you know that. You're living it. So we have a lot of muscle stuff that's on there. And then we also have some joint stuff. So there's some joints questions on there from that little bit that we did in chapter 9, and then we have like muscle questions on there from all of the chapter 10 stuff that we talked about, and then we also have just a little teeny amount of bones discussion. Your next exam for lecture exam, which happens next Sunday, will cover just two chapters, the nervous system and the muscle system. However, they're two really beefy chapters. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you're spending a lot of time for the lecture aspect of the course in those two chapters and making sure you understand all of that really heavy kind of dense physiology. But your quiz, just as a recap on what's going to be due this week and what's happening this week, quiz is going to be due on Friday. That's found under course content, quizzes, and exams. Also this week, kind of a heavy lecture week. You have a 4-part lecture series in the nervous system, chapter 12. Once you watch in all of those, you also have critical thinking and application discussion board that is due, and you have a mind maps. There are 3 mind maps that you need to complete: activities of neurotransmitters, mechanisms of neurotransmitters, and postsynaptic potential, as well as completing your homework assignment on the muscles for this week, which I said many of you have probably already started it in preparation for dun, 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 the big lab practical that happens on Sunday. So that lab practical is due on Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I think they've covered everything for this week. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, as always, please email me. I know a couple of you guys are still waiting for laptops from the college, and I think I've already spoken to you about that. You just submit your assignments. So go ahead and complete what you can complete, like the discussion boards, the mind maps, if you can do the McGraw Hill Connect assignments. And as far as your exams, especially those respondents requiring exams that require a different type of browser to be installed on your computer, um, you have time to take them. So uh, don't worry about that for my students that are still waiting for laptops from the college. So I think that's about it. And have an amazing 4th of July weekend. Hopefully it's like nice and chill and just a pleasant weekend. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.